Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We're here in Anagnorisis, ready to start the next batch of side quests. Oh, look at that! That's so cool, I never knew that. Gosetsu, when you have him out as a minion, he draws his sword every so often. What a good boy. Speaking of which, let's try a new minion. We get Owlet. What a cutie. Owlet. Preserved with the temporal magics and placed on display in the fractal continuum. Oh, is that where it was from? This genetically enhanced cloudkin is documented as being one of the genetic components used in the creation of mirror knights. Oh, that totally makes sense. He appears to have developed the capacity for reading. It is difficult to even remember the last time I spoke with someone other than my good friends, the Owls. Roidaloin. I don't remember who Roidaloin is. Though I do remember, thank you, Rack, for letting me know who Issei is. I do remember him now. Sokles. Touring Anagnorisis Part 1. Welcome, friend, to Anagnorisis. I am Sokles, and I manage this region under the authority of Chief Hermes, the head overseer of Elpis. And you are... Oh, how unusual. A soul-bearing familiar. A familiar must have a mission, and yet you offer no message and carry no cargo. Yeah, I'm as useless as I look. Are you perhaps here for the purposes of observation? Oh, yes. Yes, that must be it, in which case you need only mention my name to Charmion, and she will gladly give you a tour of our domain. Soak it all in. Okay, we're getting a tour from someone named Charmion. There, Oswald, you have nothing... Look at the sparkle pony! Sorry, I'm excited by the sparkle pony. Alright, Charmion. Yes? Yes, what can I do for you? So she's a little bit more nervous. Kukushu, is it? And Overseer Sokles wishes me to act as your guide. Oh. Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I would be more than happy to show you around. I'm simply wondering why the Overseer chose to send you to me, of all people. Maybe to build your confidence or something like that? I haven't been here long myself, truth be told. Until quite recently, I was wholly engaged in a prolonged research project at the Academia Anader. Surely there are other, more experienced individuals who could provide a more comprehensive... This grumbling is hardly constructive now, is it? I mean, teaching people is one of the best ways to learn, so maybe this is his way of helping you get used to your new digs. The task was given to me, and I will attempt to cover the most salient features of our facilities to the best of my abilities. After all, it is not every day that one is asked to indulge the curiosity of such a rare and fascinating visitor. We can commence the tour this very moment, if you like? Yeah, sure. This seems like it's going to be one where we're going to be walking together. Let us begin. Rather than have me lecture you as we walk along, I think observing firsthand what we do here in Anagnorisis would prove more beneficial. I will point you in the right direction, and you can question my colleagues to your heart's content. Once we've completed the circuit, we can return and speak to Overseer Sokles. Okay. We got this, Charmion. What is this? That's a pretty unique model. I mean, it's like a sea creature. Is this something that... Was there one of these in the Tempest or something? I don't remember seeing one of these before. But it looks like something that would be straight out of Subnautica or the Tempest. Charmion. Not sure who to speak with. Don't be shy. Any of my colleagues will happily answer your questions. Okay. Nicias. You must be the water researcher or something. Charmion. Oh, and who is your friend? Azem's familiar. Why, you appear so astute and deliberate in your thinking. So is Azem... You seem surprised by that. Is Azem not astute and not deliberate? I guess Azem was kind of a wanderer, right? I should very much like to make an extended study of your composition and consciousness. It's quite a pickup line there. Oh, do forgive my forwardness. It is my duty to chart the behavior of familiars, and I find it ever so diverting. Arcane servants are rarely permitted to roam the world at will, you see, but our research here is given special dispensation. Once the subjects are properly registered as concepts, of course. And this does lead into what Rack wrote last time as well in the comments, which was that it's not like this place, Epius, I think it's called. I'm probably misremembering that, but it's not like this zone is there to create everything, but it's there as like an experimental zone for certain things. Okay. There are times, experimental and testing, like to go out into the world before they are put into the world. There are times when familiars are tasked with tending cattle or must otherwise coexist with other living beings. Such projects are brought to me, and I'm responsible for observing and evaluating their potential compatibilities. Oh, but of course, if Ozem might grant us permission, then you could abide here for a few years while I analyze Charmion. And on that note, we really must be moving along. Step lively, Kakushu. Thank you, Charmion, you saved me. But tell me what this is. Is this a familiar, then, if you study familiars? It's so cool. Paramenos. Who do we have here? A familiar of some kind, judging by your ethereal structure. Yes, I am accompanying... Oh, Charmion. Yes, I am accompanying Kakushu here on the tour around Anagnorisis, at the behest of the Overseer. Paramenos. Oh, a tour. Feel free to wander as you please, of course, but I advise keeping your distance from larger creatures. The fauna I have under observation occupy the top tier of the food chain, and do not take kindly to intruders in their territory, especially the specimens found on the other islands. They can be exceedingly hostile. Okay, so the other islands are nastier than this. Got it. While I am sure you are quite capable of defending yourself, no one appreciates a surprise tusk through the abdomen, eh? No. Few people will appreciate that. Charmion, thank you for the warning. We will proceed with due caution. Blast. Hello, Charmion. Was there something? Charmion, the Overseer asked that I give this familiar a tour of the grounds, and I thought the best way to do that was to show her what we do here firsthand. Blasty. I'm just going to give her a different pronunciation every time I say her. Or Blasty. I see. Well, my work is rather difficult to demonstrate, I hope a brief explanation will suffice. Our creations are many and varied, but I mainly preside over the plant life. When it comes to watching certain grasses grow, one must be prepared to observe over the course of several years, and in the case of trees, sometimes decades. Tedious, perhaps, yet necessary. Oh, my owlet is flitting all about. Plants are capable of altering an entire habitat, and their presence as a food source has an enormous influence on the local wildlife. Was that the sort of thing you wished to know? Yeah, that was great. Charmion, that was perfect, thank you. I think we've covered the main areas of interest. All that's left now is to speak with Overseer Sokles. Nice job, Charmion. Do you say the same thing? Yeah, okay. I think you did a great job. You led a wonderful tour because you didn't take it all on yourself. You let the experts speak, and I appreciate it. I've also learned to not mount up when I'm with someone. Sokles. Sokles. Ah, I see you've completed your tour. Charmion. Almost. We spoke with those in charge of the various facets of our Anagnorisis, but I thought it would be fitting to end this visit where it began, with you, Overseer Sokles. I see. And what is your impression of the work we do here? It attracts some interesting people. That sounds vaguely insulting. It requires equal levels of passion and patience. Yeah, I'm friggin' literally watching grass grow. Ah, indeed, I'm glad we could help further your worldly education. Charmion, and I am glad to see you enjoyed the experience. At least I hope you did. Sokles, you are truly a masterpiece of creation. Only a soul-bearing familiar could demonstrate such robust cognitive and cogitative faculties. Charmion, were you perhaps designed to inspire others? I feel something special has been woven into your aura. Everyone's testing their pickup lines on me, and I appreciate it. You have an intriguing presence, to say the least. Please, stay a while and share more of your thoughts with us. Sokles. Yes, I believe this invitation. I second this invitation. In all the long years I have resided here, never have I encountered such a unique entity, and one of Ozem's no less. Okay, guess I'll chill here for a little bit. And take your ether current. Just swipe the ether current from their pockets. Touring Anagnorisis Part 2. Charmion. You have an intriguing... Oh, yeah, this is the stay a while. And okay, Sokles. Touring Anagnorisis Part 2. Sokles continues to regard you with a fiery curiosity. Everyone is so into me. Just like real life. Kukushu, how is our fascinating familiar friend? What is it about you that ignites my observer's soul? Well, now that we've been properly introduced, perhaps you can join me for dinner and tell us more. Charmion. Yes, I would very much like to know how you see the world, how everything, large or small, appears to your eyes. Is the part 2 of the tour going to be me giving them a tour and like giving my impressions of stuff? That would be neat. Sokles. Assuming you are amenable to the idea, you must join Charmion on another tour, this time to take a wider look at the surrounding facilities. Yeah, I'm interested in learning about you as well. I see. Well, then we shall delight in teaching each other. Charmion. But where to begin? What facility do you suggest, Overseer? Sokles. Oh, any place you feel will best elicit a response from our guest. Charmion. Right. Yes, of course. Well then, Kukushu, come with me, and we'll visit the arcane entities on the south side of Anagnorisis. Is Sokles joining? No, looks like not. Sokles. Go! Observe! Learn! Okay. Oh, it's one of those birds of paradise, birds of Elpis. Charmion. We have yet to register an official name for this specimen, so we simply call it the Bird of Elpis. What is your first thought upon beholding this majestic creature? That I want to ride it in the sky, that I want to fight it, that I've seen it somewhere before. Yeah, we're kind of giving the game away about who we are, but I think that's okay. That I've seen it somewhere before. You have, but we haven't even completed its evaluation, let alone registered a concept with the Bureau of the Architect. Are you perhaps acquainted with the entity's creator? In any case, I'm eager to hear more of your responses. You truly are unlike other girls. Unlike any other construct I've met, familiar or otherwise. Let's continue southwards, shall we? I would like to hear your opinion on this next facility. Is this a facility? Yeah, it's a very pretty bird. We're back to the southern island of First Bloom. Charmion. That structure over yonder houses some of our more unorthodox researchers. Rather than weave creation magics, they breed new kinks. They breed existing specimens in the hopes of begetting new strains and species. The method is imprecise, the outcome uncertain. To my eyes, such research seems awfully self-indulgent. Hold on. Wait, what? Why isn't it showing up here? No. Okay. Merely a means to sate the whims of one's intellectual curiosity. Oh, that was all part of the same thing. They breed existing specimen. Why does she think that's self-indulgent? It almost feels less self-indulgent. It's like... Because it feels like it's less self-indulgent because it's iterating on something that came before, not... Unless they're iterating on their own thing and she's saying that they are just getting obsessed with what they made already and they're like resting on their laurels in a way. Our purpose in life is to improve Aetheris, In my opinion, we should steer clear of techniques which produced flawed results. Oh, okay, so these are failures. Is that right? They treat existing specimens... Yeah, I didn't understand. There was nothing in there that said that they were failures. But, okay, so apparently the best way to create perfection is to keep making first drafts and not iterate on existing things? That's weird. You have no use for flawed creations? What if the process created something unexpectedly incredible beyond what you could imagine? Your perspective is you're a weirdo. Let's say you have no use for flawed creations? Charmion, and that bothers you? Are you concerned you'll be evaluated and found wanting? I'd never considered it that way. Thank you. I had thought to broaden your horizons, and here I am realizing how narrow my own views can be. Hardly a desirable quality in an observer. Yeah, it seems, I mean, and this is one of the things that's, to me, speaks really well of Hermes, is that Hermes seems to be one of the few who considers the perspective of the creations. Time for a spot of rest and reflection, I say. Shall we move on to the morning dew? It's favored by many an observer for its calming tranquility and its presence of goo-boos. Let's go. This is just gorgeous. Sea of Clouds I thought was pretty cool. This is cooler. On the other hand, I'm also not flying. I'm not having to deal with all sorts of Z-axis shenanigans the way I was in Sea of Clouds, so I'm biased against that place a little bit. So we've arrived at the morning dew, and here is Sappho. Lying with a male, perhaps? That's unusual. Okay. Sappho. I rest but do not sleep when you are far away. Softer a dream island than our children find in Lethe. Is that actual poetry from the Sappho? Maybe. And again, if so, then I hope that's not a male model. I don't know. Charmion. Welcome to our Garden of Respite. We can explore more of it later, but first, I want to hear more of what you think. Of people. Of us. I've often sat here musing upon the nature of our creations and wondered how a familiar might perceive its creator. Boy, it feels weird to give answers to this because I'm not a familiar, so... You are as deities. We're not so different. I don't understand you at all. I'm going to say we're not so different. Let's try to knock her down a peg. Yeah, you were created by someone you don't know. Though I guess I know my creator. Ha! Perhaps that's... Well, I guess they were created by parents, presumably? Ha! Perhaps that's true. You do seem far closer to us in nature than most other familiars. Yeah, about that. Well, let us set aside such musings for a moment and bask in the morning dew's serenity. Basking in serenity? Familiar food. So no tour part 3. Charmion prepares to launch into another lecture on life in Anagnorisis. Are you well rested, Kokushu? One cannot perform at one's best without allowing the mind and body time to recuperate. I agree with that. Here in Anagnorisis, we often encourage one another to nap or partake of some of the fruits we grow. We could conjure such treats into existence, of course, but there is something oddly gratifying about plucking ripened fruit fresh from the tree. Yeah, I somehow think you probably would find it like quaint. Almost like a hipster making their own jam. Oh, how remiss of me. How exactly do you sustain yourself? Is Azem supplying you with ether? No. No, but you'll fade away without proper nourishment. The tour can wait. We must feed you immediately. Would you mind picking some of the white blooms to the west here and bringing them to Overseer Sokles? Archestratus flowers, we call them. I'll have everything else ready by the time you arrive. So the flowers are going to be like an herb, maybe? I'm not sure what role the flowers are going to play. Archestratus flower. I wish I knew more about flowers. I don't know what those are. They look sort of like tulips, but not really. I don't know. Gather Archestratus flowers. This bloom appears to be edible despite not being a lifelike sugar-laden confectionery. What a weird sentence. This bloom appears to be edible despite not being a lifelike sugar-laden confectionery. So there's got to be some kind of candy that this is designed to look like. I don't know. Or some kind of Japanese dessert or Greek dessert. I really don't know. Charmion. Archestratus flowers are an edible bloom, you see. Hand them over to Overseer Sokles, and he'll mix them with the fruits I gathered to make a delicious juice. Oh, lovely. Sokles. Charmion explained to me the crisis at hand. Have you brought the flowers? I have. Oh, yes, these are the ones we need. I'll add them to the fruits from Charmion's basket, and we'll soon have an ether-replenishing beverage for you to enjoy. 'Tis the work of but a moment. He's making juice tea. Got little liquidy sounds. And here we are, freshly squeezed Anagnorisis juice medley. Like proto-high C. Go on then, drink up. I'm curious to hear what you think of it. Anagnorisis juice medley, made from Elpis-grown fruit and flowers, the aroma of this ether-rich concoction promises a uniquely complex flavor. You drink the juice. No, yay! Noting the complexities of the floral and fruity flavors. Ah, good. It seems you're able to tolerate liquid sustenance. You didn't appear to be suffering from any loss of material form, but a familiar must have a regular infusion of ethereal energy. And now I wonder if this is going to change me in the future. And now that we know you won't suddenly vanish, will you please reassure Charmion? She looks terribly concerned. Yeah, thank you for your concern, though. Charmion's great. Sokles. Oh yeah, Charmion's feared to... Yes. Charmion. I'm so glad you were able to replenish your stores of ether. Overseer Sokles certainly is a wonder when it comes to food preparation. Still, I firmly believe that the consumption of food should be limited to restoring one's strength. Any reason beyond that is simply wasteful. You have very strict ideas about what counts as wasteful, don't you? Food is delicious. It should be enjoyed, especially stuff like this. Eating for an enjoyment is an unnecessary drain on living resources, and such a practice can only be harmful to our star's equilibrium. I mean, to a certain extent, I think you're probably right. Like, gluttony isn't great, and it, if other people are wanting, there's something not great about that. But I also don't think you have to go, full Spartan on this. Which is why I have so much respect for Overseer Sokles and his culinary talent. He employs ingredients and methods which not only optimize a dish's ethereal concentration, but also produce flavorful results. There's an interesting parallel between this world and Charlian. This between the Unsundered world and Charlian. Not just with the Greek thing, but also... Oh yeah, there is the Greek thing, but I didn't think of that until just now. So there's the Greek thing, but there's also the fact that not many people appreciate food. It's a really interesting detail for there to be a parallel of. Or at least not many people spend time on food. Sokles, save your compliments, Charmion. I won't be flattered into making another batch until it's time for our next meal. Charmion, of course not. I would never dream of attempting such base manipulation to begin with. Yeah, she was totally attempting such base manipulation to begin with. Sokles. The exchange of knowledge is quite mutual, I assure you. I believe you. I'm quite something. Charmion. Familiar fate. Charmion has one last question to ask you. Will you go to the dance with me? Charmion. Kokushu, I feel we've grown to understand each other, but there's one last thing I wish to know. As you've seen, our purpose is to improve life on this star, and we each have our own way of approaching that purpose. Familiars, too, exist for a reason, often a very specific one, and I wonder what you feel about your place in the grand scheme of things. It's a tough question. Yeah, Kakushu agrees. Sokles. Charmion, perhaps you can provide our friend here with an example of what you mean. Such a nebulous question requires a more recognizable foundation from which to answer. Agreed. Charmion, yes, you're right. Of course, we must not skip the journey in our haste to reach the destination. Where to begin? Broadly speaking, we study the wisdom and magics of our forebears and choose our path as our interests and talents begin to crystallize. Good, I like it. Even among the observers of Anagnorisis, however, Overseer Sokles and I share a similar calling. Again, it may be more beneficial to simply show you what I mean. Please accompany me to the archives in the northwest. What do you have to say about all this, Sokles? Never a dull moment with Charmion, is there? Still, her boundless enthusiasm is what makes her such a fine observer. And Sokles, I mean, she's an interesting one. She's had more... She seems like she's had more experience than... I mean, she's definitely had more experience, but apparently her interests are similar to Charmion's, or her specialties are similar to Charmion's. Oh, and as a quick side thing, by the way, between quests, I actually... what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Between quests, I knocked out a 6th fate. So let's see what else opened up for the Gemstone Trader. See anything... Isara. See anything you like? I've recently had the chance to wander around outside a bit, and inspiration struck to make some of these. Yeah, there we go. Elpis riding map. This is the new thing. This highly detailed map of Elpis, including everything from land elevation to the location of exposed rocks and roots, was originally drafted by couriers seeking to reduce delivery times. Okay, so this is the same description for all of the maps, isn't it? Where are we? Oh, we're going inside. Yuan. Between you and me, Hermes' eating habits are atrocious. We may not be reliant upon food to the extent that our smaller creations are, but our diets eventually catch up with us. Oh, is Hermes like a Cheetos and root beer kind of guy? I can respect that. If we don't consume the requisite balance of nutrients, we grow weak and lethargic. Yeah, same. Yet Hermes consumes candied apples as if they were a staple. I forgot about that. He is like literally he's not literally, he's figuratively a Cheetos and root beer guy. Charmion. This is where we keep all the administrative records. Any of these documents will help give you an idea of what we consider to be our defining purpose. Feel free to browse. I shall be just awaiting you outside. Is it like adult materials? Why you seem like almost weirdly embarrassed about this. Bookshelf. These books appear to contain detailed observation logs. The name Sokles is written on each of the spines. Okay, so Sokles' logs. Observation log 6124. Pick up the log and flip to a random page. Today there was an incident involving the hippocampus. The creature is extremely territorial and I don't remember what the hippocampus is. Is that the creature that I thought was like a Subnautica monster? The creature is extremely territorial, and 4 observers sustained light to severe injuries from water-based magics as a result of... Oh no, the hippocampus is the... Wait, what actually is the hippocampus? It's a part of the brain, isn't it? This is something I'm going to Google right now. Hippocampus. Is part of the brain that has a major role in learning and memory. Okay. But is the hippocampus what I thought were Wamora? No, those were something else. I don't know what this is. The creature's extremely territorial forest observer sustained light to severe injuries from water-based magics as a result of their perceived intrusion into its domain. A report has been sent to the Wards of La Habrea, outlining the dangers inherent in continued observation of their nominated subject, and the intent to shift our focus to the smaller and considerably less aggressive pigeon. Hippie. They're creating hippies. Unshelved book. A stack of half-finished observation logs. Judging by their penmanship, the author is someone other than Sokles. Why were you... What am I supposed to get from this? Ah, Kakushu. Did you find the observation logs enlightening? No. Oh, yes, apparently. Observer Sokles has built quite a library, hasn't he? He's logged comprehensive observations on every living being in Anagnorisis. Not only objective physical descriptions, but also his personal thoughts and impressions. And that's why I'm here. To carry on the Overseer's invaluable work. Is the Overseer going to be returning to the star? Why? When it comes to the continued success of Anagnorisis, our purposes are very much aligned. I cannot help but worry, however, that I lack the same degree of perception and ability, that I am unfit for the task I have chosen. Even being in the same room as those logs is enough to make me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, no shit. God, that's... Oh, no wonder she was quick to get out of there. It's big shoes. My insistence that you examine your purpose was, I think, born from the trepidation which surrounds my own. An uncertainty you need not feel, so this is Sokles. Overseer Sokles. Sokles, as one of our newest arrivals, you have ever been quick to doubt yourself. Yet you were able to guide Kakushu here on an engaging tour through the intricacies of our duties, which clearly demonstrates the depths of your understanding. If all I wanted was someone to emulate my work, I would simply continue doing it myself. No, the reason I asked you to assume my role is because I believe you can take our projects in new and novel directions. Raising you as a competent successor is the final step of my purpose in life. Do me proud, Charmion. It is your growth, your efforts, which will facilitate my return to the star. She's basically his living will. Or maybe his executor. Charmion, I will do my best, Overseer. But don't be in too much of a rush to leave us. There's still so many things I need you to teach me. And speaking of teaching, thank you, Kakushu, for this wonderful and enriching visit. It's been a pleasure learning about you, not to mention a few things about myself. Sokles. Yes, you... Oh, by the way, I think I might have referred to Sokles' gender interchangeably. I have a tough enough time telling gender, or telling presented or assuming, what the assumed gender is, or presented gender is in many cases, and the masks and robes make it even tougher. Yes, you also have my gratitude for the part you've played in training my young colleague. You are welcome to return whenever you wish. Thank you. I have to get more comfortable using they, them as a default pronoun until someone tells me otherwise, or until, I don't know, unless someone's presenting in a particularly clear way. That was a neat little side quest. That's again, very big shoes she has to fill. God, just seeing a library like that, seeing the life ahead of you, even if you like that life. I remember something I quote my father a lot. I love him and respect him deeply, and he's taught me a lot. And one of the things I remember him telling me was that he said that if you were told what your future was going to be, it would seem intimidating. It's something you'd want to run away from, even if it's just, this was the example he gave. Even if someone said that his days would be spent for the next 20 years, he'd have to play tennis and have sex all day. Then, I don't know if he used that phrase, but that was the gist of it. Then, it would sound like a prison sentence. And yeah, I mean, when you see the full body of work you're stepping into and you think, oh my God, this is what I have to do, then even if it's your passion, it can seem intimidating as hell, especially if it's not just actions, but someone's identity that you have to live up to. Anyway, that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you for watching. Next time we will continue with the side quest here. I assume we're going to be able to knock out the other side quests and even start on the main quest next time, because most of these quest chains don't seem to have no more than one long series within them. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later. Friggin' owlet. Okay, bye-bye.